Dan, President Obama has been very busy recently, going out to California, talking to the people that are affected from the drought over there, talking about EPA standard changes for the truck companies. What do you think is behind all of this?
Yeah, this is clearly he's trying to appease, or I think he's trying to appease, his environmentalists, his green friends, because the bottom line at the end of the rainbow here, unfortunately, is that he's going to have to approve Keystone, and he's trying to smooth things over for the environmentalists before he goes there. So he takes a trip to California. They're in the middle of a drought. He says, "Here's $1 billion. Okay, we want to make sure that everybody who's been affected by the drought gets taken care of." Then he walks into a truck plant in Maryland. He says to them, "Look, we're going to increase CAF requirements in 2015 for trucks. You're going to get twice the miles per gallon that you got previously." This he's doing unilaterally, and something the Republicans are not so hot about, and a lot of the truck manufacturers aren't so hot about either. But a lot of the truck carriers, obviously FedEx is really thrilled about. And then, he's going to walk into the Three Amigos conference in Mexico. That starts today, where he's going to meet his friend in Canada, and he's going to try to explain to him where he stands on Keystone, because that's really what they have to discuss in Mexico. It's not going to be immigration. It's not going to be trade. It's going to be, walking in with his friend Harper and saying, "I'm going to approve Keystone, so don't you worry about it."
So if Keystone gets approved, which stocks do you own?
Well, there are stocks that, and again, in some ways, I wish that the president would just get this over with, because this has been 2 years.
Yeah,
I think he wins the complete wussy award on this, and I say that from an environmentally sensitive point of view, because I am. I think if you want to take a stand on the Keystone pipeline, as you don't want to enable your Canadians from developing oil sands, that's one thing. But to stand around, have studies about pipelines, whether they're going to leak or not, pipelines leak. That's what they do, okay? To have a study to say whether it'll have an environmental impact because it leaks or not is the wrong way to go about it. But at this point, I think he's painted himself into a corner. The winners on Keystone are pretty clear. Obviously, the owner, TransCanada, is going to be a winner. Enbridge, which has a big piece of what's going to be built in this country, is going to be a winner. And Exxon is a big winner. Obviously, they have the Curl Sands project. They're banking a lot of their future production on oil sands in Alberta, and without Keystone, they can't really make that work.
And what about the truck companies? They're going to benefit from kind of bringing all this to the pipeline and getting it.
I agree. You're all over that. So I guess you're still enjoying Cummins. You still think even at 114, it's worth a buy.
I think the truck cycle is in early innings, and you heard it from Eaton and you heard it from Cummins that we're at the bottom. You've got the replacement cycle story. You now have these emission standards, so you're going to start to see a lot of pre-buys, right, of all these older trucks. At the end of the day, the truck fleet is very, very old, and this winter is hurting them even more because they're getting more worn down. So they have to replace these old trucks to begin with. Now you have new standard changes,
right.
So you really have a kind of a rush job as well. So I still like the group. I think of the names that I mentioned, I like Cummins. We own it. I think PACCAR is ready to go.
Okay, so two truck plays, both based upon the increase in CAF standards that are coming in 2015, and also on oil.
Also on oil. So you kind of you get a double whammy.
I like it.
Fabulous. Thanks, Dan.
Right.